Okay. This is Regina's Rabbit Hole, and this is Siren Buddha Medicine, speaking with...
Peace.
Speaking with wisdom. Much love to you and yours, and we're just checking out the topic of fear today.
Yep, and I do not want to be put on social media for grounds that might incriminate me.
He's so funny, man. We were doing this show, Regina's Rabbit Hole, in order to talk about fear. So what we were talking about that Nipsey Hussle thing.
No, actually I wasn't. I mean, Nipsey Hussle is just a thing that once the media bring up, unfortunately, about his unfortunate death, but, you know, it's what you pay. While we continue on, people die every day.
I was saying that what I've been seeing is a lot of those fear posts, like the ones you were reading prior to the Nipsey Hussle thing. All I'm seeing now on social media is a lot of the fear posts. What were you reading, that one? It was about...
Which one? Oh, well, there's a couple of them.
Just gruesome.
This one actually is called Push Black. This guy's called Carrie Leatham. Hadn't been home long. He was released from prison in September 2018 after doing 24 years of a 26 to life sentence. Latham attempted to transition back into the world that, despite formerly incarcerated people, Nipsey Hussle, who was only a kid when Carrie got locked up, heard about Latham's plight and offered his elders some help. What happened next is the saddest song of them all. Oh boy. Okay, it's getting into it. Carrie went shopping at Hustler's in the Marathon store, where Hustler offered him some free clothes. That tragic day would end with both of them shot and Nipsey dead. Nipsey was at the store to help someone, and he died doing it, while Latham was left disabled by the shooting. And this is Push Black, and what happens with this particular after that comes on, it just always posting things from ancient times to now.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, how the one that you posted, the other one, about the slaves.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, there's a lot of posts about slaves and stuff, because we're talking about that fear of frequency.
Well,
everything is miserable. They don't post nothing happy or cheerful or positive.
Did they ever?
That's what I'm saying. What's up with that?
Well, I mean, the whole ideal is that people are starting to wake up. Actually, the time now is the age of information, which the information process is passing. And there's some people are just not going to be into it, and then there's some are. The whole ideal is everybody have eyes to see that there's some injustice going on all across the world and inside the world. And
Go ahead. Go ahead.
And so, you know, basically, the fear is for me, and getting into fear is just the fear of the unknown. But you actually know. But it's just the fear of the unknown. You already know the outcome is not going to be good if you go and attack that which we blatantly see.
Yeah, see, I believe that as a people, as a black people, we're sticking with what is familiar, with what's comfortable. And that's now that we can talk about the age of information, we're taking this thing and we're only sticking with what is familiar, and that is coming up with how we were slaves and how they messed us over. And what it is this reverse psychology of saying how powerful these people are and look what injustice they did to us. We're not, as a people, utilizing this time of enlightenment to debunk fear, right? And go in the opposite direction, like talk about frequencies and how this is actually a frequency war. It's an illusion to keep focusing on the negativity. You know what I'm saying? That's right. That's a reverse psychology. Instead of ego, it's a reverse ego, so you got low self-esteem.
Who taught us that?
Right, exactly.
I'm asking who taught us that.
You know who taught us that? So I'm saying, yeah.
I'm asking. Oh.
A Eurocentric paradigm taught us that. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. You know that, so I shouldn't have to say that. We know that.
Do the audience know?
Yes. Oh. And if they don't know, right, so it would still be, see, according to frequency, and coherence, right? Frequency and vibration and bringing positive things to us would be to focus on how we're great and what we created and what we can create, and sound and frequency and the correspondences like universal law. See, if we're concentrating on how great we can be and how great we are, we're not focusing on how they screwed us.
But can't we see the greatness in us? Can't we see we great athletes?
No, not if we're just focusing on these freaking fear-based
So
negative
then
posts that we keep saying.
why everybody just get the hell off the goddamn internet? because now that's the fear we're talking about. Why are we on internet? Were we greater when we wasn't on internet or when we are on internet?
Well, we can still turn it around though. That's why we're talking about this.
Because now you're talking about the people getting cocky. I've seen people that was nobody, and they just started being on TV, watching themselves, having a narcissistic behavior. That is narcissism when you look at yourself all the time.
We're talking about ego, right?
Well, we're talking about that. We're talking about you're being mesmerized by yourself and your thoughts, your actions, but yet we look at the outcome. You don't have no 500. You don't have no 5 million views. You got lucky if you get under 5,000.
That's not lucky. Why I was in this. I'm here for a universal, directive.
Well, we all in it for it, but when we don't see something, don't like if you continue to get on a treadmill and running, you running, but you ain't losing no weight. You're gonna stop doing. Man, I ain't running that shit. I'm hurting myself because no one likes to exercise. And exercising the mind, I feel the fear is to give. If this brother ain't no good or that sister ain't no good, then find one that's good. And if you can't, then leave it all alone. Don't come and try to fuck with my head because more like you selling the dream. The fear is for me, the fear is in the faith that I look at Israel, like the whole Bible. It tells me clear. Did I lie today? Did I lie about anything? And if I did I go into repentance? If not, I'm transgressing the law, and then nothing else works. You can't hear nothing. You don't hear nothing. I ain't trying. Get that right. Is it hard to say, well, today or for that hour I didn't lie and learn within that hour, and then it goes up? No. The fear is doing what is the right thing to do.
Tell me, how does the commandments affect fear? How does the Hebrew Israelite law, the biblical law, affect fear right now that you can see?
It's not a. That's a very different. How can you answer that one?
What's the corresponding frequency that you see with
laws?
And
laws. The
law?
energy is the law. Period. That Bible consists of the main thing is following the law. I told you to do this, you didn't do it, and the outcome is that.
Fear the Lord your God.
There's not. The people get confused on the name of God. It's just the energy that what is seemingly the prophecy of what's going on in the entire world or the earth that we see. Or just to have the understanding of the fear of the unknown. The whole idea, if you don't fear the Most High, you understand what I'm saying, and not adhering to what he's saying, then the outcome is how I'm living right now. You understand what I'm saying? There should be no confusion about what we see, what we're supposed to do. The Bible clearly tells you to render on to what is Caesar, which is the politics, and then render what is God. That means that he want his time. That means that Hebrews, like on the Sabbath day, he wanted Friday night, and when the sun go down to all day Saturday, you don't buy, eat, sell, still nothing. You prepare your food, and all you do is get into the revelations of what's coming back to check out the order and what the people who suffered, who were chosen. There's 18 nations. There's 18 nations on the planet. Those are facts. 18 nations, and 12 of them nations right now are suffering all over the world. And there's a ruling class of people that we see.
18 nations when there are only supposed to be 12 tribes.
There's 12. There's 12. Because there's 6 classes you can tell right now that's ruling. There's 6 classes that you can name right now that's ruling, right? If you count it on the Eurocentric chick, including all the white people, is what? The Caucasians, right? And then they got a whole bunch of different kind of white people. They're all Caucasians. We know they're all Caucasians, right? We have the Asians, right? And then the Asians, right? And that's true. You can count all the Asians, right? Inside that set, right? Then you have the Polynesians, which is the Hawaiians, right? They are a nation within their set, all to themselves. Then we count the Africans, right? And the Arabs. The Arabs consider what? the Philistines, the Arabs we already mentioned. Those particular ones, those 6 nations right now. If you go in New York or if you look around now, you have and the East Indians. I mean, you can clearly write them down and see those are the rulers, world class ruling. Each other one set will fall into, like, if we say in Africa, we know that there's remnants of Israel in Africa, the original Jews in Africa right now, that had the scrolls and everything that's written in the manuscripts now. They had those documents written in metal because what they were trying to do, what were they trying to do? They were trying to what? They were trying to burn and wipe out. Because we know that in the Egyptian times coming to life, then white people started falling into rulership that came under what? The Greeks and the Romans. That's the only time you can have their fierce power, right? Before that, white people didn't rule. They came on the Greek and then the Roman, and then and we know right now that's the Eurocentric that came into power in the Renaissance era, and that year of the Enlightenment. Before then, the blacks ruled.
The Moors.
The more only means black.
Right.
Well, I'm saying,
Okay.
but people that took.
It was a combination. We were a combination of people. We were what do you call it? The Arabs. Not Arabs, but the religion. Islamic Moors, Hebrew Israelite, Islamic Moors, Asiatic blacks. We had a whole society.
When you say black, is just more doesn't mean. When you look at the word "go" in the dictionary or you go to etymology, it means more. The reason why the Moors came in, because remember, in the Bible said that we would be scattered throughout the 4 corners of the earth. So before, when the slavery came up, we was already in Alaska. We was all over. We was already spread out, and we know that. We know that because if I'm black like this right here, right, you put me in Africa, 1,000 years from now, my skin is not going to be lighter. I'm not going to be this light-skinned person. The only way that you can do that, you can inbred and put white with black, or you can put light and dark with your
We're all mixed now, you know.
Black can't mix.
Things are more determined by the spirit, you know, which ignites the DNA what is in the blood through bloodlines. And, you know, right now we're seeing the power of the Creator and seeing how certain tribal stuff is still intact and waking up within his people. Do you know what I'm saying? So even though we're mutts and we have a little of this and a little of that inside of us, certain people's spirits are awakening with intact ancestral memory that's igniting their DNA and directing them to do certain things right now. See, we should be talking about those kind of things instead of always talking about how they depicted us as slaves, because like you said, they keep depicting us as this way instead of how powerful we were at one time when we made mistakes, where we had them enslaved. We had other cultures enslaved to us. And we're tampering, we ourselves, we're doing what they're doing now, tampering with DNA, messing with science, and doing all kinds of stuff.
There's not a time that is proven in history where the Hebrew Israelites ever enslaved anybody.
Excuse me?
The Hebrew Israelites in the Bible.
The Moors did. And that's part of the Moorish history. We don't want to look at ourselves and admit what we did.
You have to.
So we can't be powerful if we want to not admit what we did.
We were always like the Indians, the Moors were already here and were settled people. And what they did was they taught that which was uncivilized. White people were never civilized. They were always hunters and gatherers by nature. That's who they are. The Bible tells us that they hunt, and they still today. What do? They're hunter. They like to hunt, don't they? They like to gather. By nature, we by nature are very peaceful, very spiritual, and very giving people.
By nature, you can say that. Let's look at this in spirit. By nature, you can say that as far as a lot of the sports, right, and a lot of the activities that are done, say for vacations or for hobbies and stuff, right, fishing and hunting and things like that, on behalf of the European culture. But we also do fishing and hunting and stuff, not as much as them, because it's not culturally aligned with us, right?
We are superior in what we do because we are the chosen race of people. That means that they can't touch us, but we don't tap into our energy. And when we do, we always go mystical we deal with sorcery and magic, and so
But why do you think that is? If we're not hunters like them,
because we are influenced, because we have laws, the laws we're given, and once again, and I always bring up: did you lie? Right? Did you steal? Right? Do you love your brother as you love yourself or your sister? When you say brother to my brothers and sisters, these are things that we're not doing. And if you put that in the hood, that means that I can take your daughter and you can take my son and you can be what we're supposed to raise the children. But I can't. If I don't know you, first of all, I don't trust you. So how can I love you as I love myself? If you taking, what we're trying to do is put all other nations in our business. And so if we bring a Chinese person in here, like I was talking, Kiki mother caught me the other day, right? In New York. I love Asian people. Why? Because I work with them all the time. They're the best people in the world. Why? Because they what? Disciplined. Why? Because in their country, it's dictatorship. If they took about 20 of us, right, and put us over another foreign land, you think we wouldn't be tight as I don't know what? You understand what I'm saying? However, because we disobeyed biblically, I can only go biblically, because we disobeyed the laws that the Most High gave us to govern the whole world, we wouldn't be in this predicament. That means that, guess what? You can take you can go over there and plant you some beans and eat and grow your own food. That means you ain't got to go something. You got your own vegetables, your own grains.
No, I agree with that. That there were laws that we were supposed to be aligned to, that brings it brings on a coherence with the planet. You know what I'm saying, with the world around us, and that we broke those. We broke that. So, I'm asking you, because I asked, right? If you're saying that they're hunters and gatherers,
yeah.
right? And it's about dominance, right? And what different ways can we see that in the culture, just with the differences? So if they're corresponding with that, right? And I'm just saying, in hobbies and activities, like even when it comes to consumerism.
Who go there? When it
comes to capitalism.
Well, let's go before you go off that subject. Who are in all the forests hunting? When we was in slavery, who were they hunting? You understand?
The buffalo.
I'm just saying in general. You eat to live, but you don't hunt. Even today, who's hunting in the streets?
That's what I'm giving an example of, the buffalo and the fish, like hunting things to the point of extinction, and just not having the mindset to be in harmony with the things around it. And that people who lived that did have the mindset to be in harmony with the world around it, with nature, they deemed as stupid and took advantage of that morally. You know what I'm saying? With treaties and written things and stuff like that.
Yeah, but see, before this is my take, right? Before for us as a people who know that we are dealing with some kind of curse, we are like, we're not cursed. Like, you are like, these things keep happening. Like me, a master level man, working master level, right? And if I had been of another ethnicity, I wouldn't have to go through the psychological, you know what I'm saying, spiritual warfare that I'm going on, because this is about minds, you understand what I'm saying? And it's easy to say, let me tear somebody down, then you come home to your environment and tear that down. So in our communities, we're psychologically tearing one another down. I see the different, I say jungle brothers, because it's just like being in the jungle. You hear something like Nipsey Russell passed. It's unfortunate. Who knew Nipsey Russell ruled before that? So his death, and he was beefing, so what he was doing was controversial. So it could have been a part of the government plot. It could have been a COINTEL plot as usual. So what's the big? So now it becomes what? This big conspiracy theory now. And when we say conspiracy, you got the actual facts of what happened. And if not, then fall back. Now, when you get the conspiracy, everybody, you and 1,000 other people get the same thing, when there's other things that we should be worrying about, like this shit, like the sexual misconduct. Why nobody don't talk about that? Brother, I'm in lust. When I talk to him, I just want, well, she look good, I want. And then the woman said, he handsome. Why nobody talks about that energy?
Because it's not a part of our culture
to talk about. What you mean? Yes, it's exactly.
Wait, it's not a part of our culture to talk about sex.
Really?
Right.
Why not?
Because that's the thing. They give mixed messages. We see it everywhere. We see it on TV. We see it in the movies. It's in magazines. It's in the cartoons. They put even those hidden subliminals and stuff.
Is that a part
all
of who
over
we
the
are?
ads?
Is that
yes.
a part of, if it is now, if it is, look at all the kids that come into the world, right? of just.
Can I finish my thought? It's the sex that the reason why we can't talk about it is that's the way to have the energy pent up on purpose. If we can't talk about it, we can't focus our energy and steer ourselves morally and logically as a people, because unconsciously we're letting them steer the wheel because we're not allowed to deal with that energy or talk about it.
Who said that we're not allowed?
As a society, is a cardinal rule where you don't go no place and just be talking about sex. Okay?
But you can
act out on sex.
On your platform, you're talking about, you're saying people against, different things that you're saying, right?
Right, that I'm dealing with personally.
But
like you said, I don't have a large audience right now. I'm talking predominantly as a society.
In our society,
we're saturated in sex, but it's not something that we talk about.
That's the main thing that is wrong with our society.
That's what I'm saying. I'm agreeing right there.
Yes. If you remove that, because everybody need to look at them and say, some people are gifted where they're very, in the world that we look in these eyes, that looks beautiful. It could be demonized on the inside. We don't know. Or somebody could be very fat.
That's what I'm saying. They're using this energy so that when we're not talking about it, they are able, the Eurocentric establishment is able to utilize that crazy ass energy that we have because we're not checking ourselves.
So why deal with their frequency?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so
but we need to start talking about it.
I understand
and respectable, logical ways. See, we're not seeing this as an energy, as an entity. We're not seeing these things as spirits we're saying it's a curse, but not wanting to go into the part, check out the Book of Solomon, where we're talking about demonic energies. We're talking about things that can be cast and put on you. We're talking about demonic energies and presences that we allow to be put on ourselves.
But you cannot take the holy Bible. Do you know what a holy means?
Let me just finish this.
Right.
And that shouldn't be fear-based, but intellectually based, and it's an alchemical thing. See, we're not learning about spirituality and spiritual presences in this way that we should be in church and biblically, because there's another aspect to it that we're not learning about, and that's the shadow, the hidden stuff.
Yeah, but the hidden stuff is those who took it out to let you become, because in this particular time it said that.
That's why it's our ignorance.
It would say that two-thirds of our people would not get it, no matter what in the world. Like how you're thinking is, you're going to support. See, if I support anything other than what I see that's not good for me, like if I know if I'm eating sugar and this, I get feet messed up, and you don't get circulation, right? So how can you receive the whole fullness if you don't got circulation, right? So say somebody, hypothetically speaking, right, they get circulation physically, right? But mentally, they all over the place. They confused as hell. Boop, 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 boop. Because they what? They're physically fit, right? And they have some intelligence, because the intelligence don't deal with this systematic doctrine that we deal with here. We think that.
Well, you're right. It tells you what to think. It doesn't tell you to go and figure things out for yourself. It tells you to stay within a certain, what I call the system of religion or spirituality that I see being used right now on the planet. They tell you what you should be thinking and doing and acting, what you should wear and what you should do. There are systems already.
We're talking about the mind.
Right.
And what is put into the mind? How well you speak, how well you can put sentences together, right? How well you can articulate, remember data. And these are the things that we are mesmerized, even more than beauty and sex. Intelligence outweighs that, because when Obama was in, he was very elaborate in how he delivered the speech. Wow. Elaborate man delivering a speech, and he mesmerized, but he did nothing.
Talking about?
He was talking about because he did nothing for us. We went back into a hole. It was more cop killings than ever.
What was he talking about?
I'm talking about nothing. What he did was he legalized a lot of different stuff that biblically wasn't supposed to be legalized. He got the bougie up into a status where the bougie was, right, and more stuff happened. And it's okay. And once you know, if I see the punch coming, I know. You know what I'm saying? But if I don't see the punch, you hit me all day. So a lot of people, growing up with my mom, one thing she taught me manners. So I had that. She taught me not to be insubordinate if I'm going on a job, right? But then I was with my grandfather, who was a yes man, very dominant. I learned a lot of the dominance and the anger that he displayed. He didn't really display, only in the house to display anger, but that's what we do. What is the fear?
Did it scare you?
Of course, I lived in fear. But when I got older, when I turned to a certain age, I see what he was doing.
So you learned to respect fear, not logic.
I learned to respect him as a man and what he did as a man in the house. Fear, see, the fear that we got these days is if you don't get this unionized education and you're not positioned into a way to think or to act or to speak in a certain manner, then you're eliminated or you're outside. You're obsolete from society. One must be in closing. One must be able to present in a way that one understands what one is saying morally. And morally, we have no respect. As a black man, I'm not respected because I look at the same thing I do and look at my counterpart. Same thing happened. No results, nothing said.
I was just going to ask that. Is it possible that we're plugged into the matrix on two different wavelengths?
It's the curse to say that, when one, see, what an Israelite, somebody who really just study is like, or we say Israelite, it's just understanding what the Holy Bible means. I ask what the word holy means. Do you know what the word holy means? It means separate.
Set aside.
Right, it means separate. Which meaning that you can't go and say, you go, well, you know what? And King Solomon said this, right, and take it and use it into another doctrine, into full darkness, because the Most High said in 45:17 and 7, it says that I form light and I form darkness.
Exactly.
He said I created evil and I created good.
Exactly. So
it's an open and shut case with that.
I follow the lineage, and so when you start looking at angels, you're also looking at demons. Angels, and it says El Shaddai. That's El Shadow.
Yeah,
excuse me.
But it's not true.
We're afraid of our shadow.
I understand that.
But
it's not
have both. Though. Yes, it is.
Well, what I'm saying to you,
we have both shadow and light.
Right. What I'm saying is, if you say if you go into a metaphysics, it says right here, I can't. I'm telling you. Holy Bible, Israel don't recognize that what you talk. That's not that's not our stress like Islam or the unionized black Christians, right? We don't recognize none of that. So you probably be like, okay, cool, then go ahead with that. That's cool, but that's not what we do because every nation takes from the Bible and say, oh yeah, well this is used for this.
Listen, right?
That.
I'm gonna make this equation.
Right.
White establishments like say the Aryan Brotherhood, right?
That's not an establishment.
Excuse me, it is. It's
establishment as a building.
Yeah, no, yeah. Okay, come on, stop. Okay, well, it's a group of people. It's a group of people, right? You already know what I'm gonna say. They don't accept us, right? They don't accept melanated folks, and they don't accept they might certain other groups might not accept.
They accept your money.
What I was getting ready to say is that certain other groups that are high society may not accept others just because of their finances, where you could get in. You could get in, right. You can get in if you brown or melanated, right. But you have to have a certain amount of money or clout, prestige within society.
And some of you ain't going to get in over top of that, so it's levels.
You have had family that went to Yale or Harvard or you know
the Oppenheimers in the bushes. You're not getting
or your family make a certain amount of money, okay? So what I'm saying is that just because one person believes that something is true doesn't necessarily mean that makes it right. That's just perspective. And predominance wins. That's why his story is his spin on the story because he is the predominant rule. So everybody does that. So when it comes to looking at Hebrew Israelites saying they don't accept what it is that some of the
we won't accept white supremacy,
occult systems and other researchers are doing right now, that ain't right, because just because you guys don't accept it don't make it go away, okay? Because Jesus is synonymous with Heru and with Horus, and that's synonymous with Pan and the bull, and these these archetypes and these deities that we're reading, the spiritual book, what should be respected by all means.
What's that?
Read the Bible.
I'm asking you, what is respected in the Bible? I'm asking you.
The word, what I'm saying is in general, okay? Yeah. Christianity and the word, let me say, should be respected by all means. What I'm saying is that right? The wise person or the person who respects somebody's spirituality and the way that Christ or the Creator manifests within their life, respects that for all mankind. Right. Okay, so, especially when it comes to preserving the preservation of life.
But they don't, and that's the thing about it. They don't. What you're talking about, they don't preserve the preservations for life.
That's because there's a lot of ignorance where people are taking these, people are not realizing, wait a second. Let me just finish. Let me finish because it needs to, I'm almost finished. Okay.
Right. You're going to another topic.
I know. Right. No, I'm not going into another. Right. This is part of the fear. We're afraid to be able to look at the other shadowy aspects of our deities and our spirituality. Like, where does it come from? How are we going to sit there praying and doing all this stuff and be afraid to look into where these things actually originated from?
Right. So the originator is this.
What?
If you lie, if you steal, if you have sexual misconduct, if you don't like your black or your chosen tribe from your brothers and sisters, if you don't do those things right there, whatever has brought us here, the Most High that's brought us in here, ain't hearing nothing. You say you can pray all you want.
Seriously,
let me finish.
You're right.
I understand. Let me finish. Whatever put us here, right, has things for us to do. The universal law, we're not the universal laws. Guess what? We're not water, rain, or we're not those things. And that universal law, you cannot violate that. Has man violated that? Yeah. What man has violated that? And that man should take a penalty. And how do you follow someone who is insane that continue to mess with chemicals, mess with people's minds? Say they're strong in God and then put 1,000 deities. Is it over 1,000 deities? Which one? The most accurate one. Everybody in that book pulling stuff out, especially the people, the chosen people are even. That's why the prophecy is pulling stuff. It's a pleasure for Trump to be there. People for Israel love President. Why? You know why? Because now black people are still coming together, and in spite of all that, you still have other black people that just hate black people, as you have Chinese hate Chinese, white hate white, Arab, and so on and so forth. However,
you came out like a lion on that one.
Well, I mean, it is. And so now the most powerful people that seemingly to be on the planet, and you can look and see the miracles, because do Arab and anybody else have miracles? Absolutely, the miracle in there. But he says in Isaiah 45, 17 and 7 or 17 and 40, misquote me, you can look it up and see. It clearly tell you, I formed. So he formed it all. He created the evil and the good. So guess what? The devil is doing what the devil's supposed to do. The other people are doing what the other people are doing. That's why you see their prestigious, and you see black people like crabs in a bucket. You see everybody on this dumb tube and stupid face want to be stars. And I'm not talking about just want to be famous. For who? If you had $1 million, 100, would you be famous for what? What is each one? What is your follower, and what is the results of your follower? Let's do the data on the day, week, month.
Intention is the writer of the soul.
Facts is the facts. The facts are the facts. If it look cloudy, more like it's going to rain, and pretty much the rain come out. The facts of the Bible. I'm going to tell you today. If you're still people on this right here, they lonely. They're looking for love. They want to fall in love because they're hurting. They're feeling the pain, and then they want to intellectualize the fancy words that people don't understand. We know for a fact the United States is considered one of the dumbest states. One of the dumbest states to be so wealthy is one of the dumbest states. And the other states that the United States is teaching, and they're very wealthy at 10%, guess where they at? They're in the other parts of the state tricking everybody. It's not generalizing. It's a fact.
Really, they're allowed. Because, I think that, I have a group of people that I listen to, and none of those things are in my mind when I'm listening to them. Really, truly, I respect them as my brothers and sisters. This knowledge and maintaining this level of integrity and this level of sanity while you're surfing through so much different information is not easy. You know what I'm saying? So the camaraderie, even if you can't be up underneath somebody and you can't be there, sometimes that's fun too. Now, I want to say that I agree with you according to people not following the law. Now, I would say universal law, because of the way that the different spiritual deities have been morphed, through different cultures and stuff. You could check out Zeitgeist. I really advise that for everybody. You take what you need and leave the rest. Wait a second.
Yes.
Right?
Before you go for say Zeitgeist,
you can agree.
Go. I'm saying Zeitgeist. We have to understand, because you are very international and influenced by other people, right? Other nations.
Let me finish my sentence.
Yes or no? Are you influenced by other nations of people, other international people? You're an international thinker, right? Are you?
I'm
Which meaning, do you serve?
universal.
When I say, do you serve white people,
I'm a
Arab
universal
people,
plug.
and do you take, like, as well as you take the biblical, you would go in the Zygotes, or white people thought and say that's true too. You would take
Baby.
their philosophy, correct?
I am a universal plug.
So,
Yes.
okay,
It
so-
depends
okay.
on. It
And
depends
I
on if
like
it
that.
fit logically.
Yes,
And
I like that.
spiritually with the other things that I was
And if it
given
fit-
inside
if-
of
if
myself
those particular-
already.
If those particular,
You just can't take anything and everything
there's
just
those
because
particular nations.
you're open
Is
to
the cause
learning.
is one of the
Wow,
most
Ken.
high. Now it's wild. Go ahead.
What I wanted to say is, I agree with the part that you were saying about law, okay? But not everybody has the same measure of light.
Is law everything?
We're not
in this
all
universe?
created the same. Not everybody
We're
is.
not?
No, that's exactly that.
I'm
Now,
thinking.
see, that answers what it is you were saying about me being universal or me being world and all this kind of stuff. That is also a fear within the black
All right,
community.
could we have time for a minute?
Yeah,
I don't want us to go into a rave and a rant because we
It's
disagree.
not. that's
wanna-
also a fear in the
I
black
want to put.
community.
I want to put a time on it. I want my what I say when you say something have a purpose and meaning. I don't want to cut you off. Neither do I want to be interrupted. And as we are giving information, our personal information. For me, you get your information, but I get my information from the Bible. I get it also things that pertain to what is in the Bible. I'm not familiar with that which enslaved me physically, and then tell me now mentally I'm not a slave. If someone abuses you, and the fact if you get abused, that trauma's not gonna go away. You tell me how we ever dealt. How do we deal with our own trauma that has happened to us? When we see how many people have beaten us down, we see our women. Why do a black man or a black woman argue as much as they want? They can still have all the money they want.
Can I
Because
answer
they're
the first
confused.
question?
Which one?
Okay, how we deal with our trauma.
Yeah.
Okay, as a black people.
Yeah.
First, I want to say to stop being afraid of our own self, of our
But that's
own.
not dealing with the trauma, though, baby.
Excuse me.
Okay.
One man's solution may be another man's problem. Okay?
Can you explain the fear?
Right. That's what I'm trying to do. Right?
Yeah.
It's of the unknown. It's normal. It's natural to be uncomfortable. It's a feeling. We assign so much to the word fear because we've been programmed and indoctrinated to think, run away from this sensation.
So our
But yet,
people, I said,
we
as our
jump
people,
on a roller coaster
we're beating ourselves. So where is our people come to deal with our
and we
trauma?
go into the scary house.
You're saying fear, but I'm saying, what is the solution? Why don't we do it? Where's it coming in?
And those things that we do, because energy never dies, it only transfers, they don't bring us anything. We have to walk through the uncomfortability of not knowing what these systems are.
Where's the people? Where's the man or woman? It's only a man. Well, where's
Listen.
the woman or the man that can help us through that fear that you
That's
have
what I'm
illustrated?
getting at.
Okay.
Like I said, not all of us have the same measure of light. And our Creator, God, Jehovah, Yeshua, whatever you decide to call him, the Creator, okay, birthed with each family the talents and abilities. That's what the children, the seeds of Israel are. So for whatever problem we have, when we sort out our own demons and we let the Creator work, we come up with the solutions. When we let each other shine, we come up with our own solutions. But we cut each other up, right? A lot of the times.
We know that.
Because, okay, so
But
now...
who made it? But who
that-
made?
but
But who
that's-
made us cut? Who made us cut? You
It's
said we
not
cut us
that
off. We
any-
do this.
That's what I'm trying to answer, is that no longer can we just think about, because that's the trick, is just looking at the establishment that is controlling the monies and the resources that we can see. Because spiritually, those people are actually us now. That there is if we would check our sciences and look at the Bible in a different way and
But we know that we've
excuse me,
been chosen, baby.
they're in the planetary alignment. We're not checking the other sciences that come to that, though. See, now would it be fair to say that
You're dominating the whole conversation.
no,
though.
I'm
You're
trying
going
to
into
answer
another
this.
one, though.
No, because we need to allow ourselves as a group of black people to be ourselves. We're not all the same. So let the people who know about
We know that though, Regina. That's called a community and a society. So when I'm asking
Ken,
you,
let me finish answering the
but you asked
question.
for 10 minutes though, baby. It's not fair.
No, I haven't.
I'm gonna put a time.
Let the people that know about the zodiac and planetary alignments and astrology, which is part of the Mashuak, okay, which is part of the hand of God, which is part of the other face, like the shadow side.
But the Bible doesn't tell. The Holy Bible doesn't recognize.
It does speak of it.
What I'm saying, it speaks of everything. It does not. It's total. I'm telling you, the Israel is totally against any zodiac, any kind of sorcery, any kind of mystery, any of that stuff is totally against it. That's why we're in our dilemma. Those who came here and robbed us, we didn't ask for it. It robbed us. The Most High allowed us because there were people who were still adhering. People were still adhering to that law.
We shut out our own wisdom and guidance, Ken.
Right, I understand.
Because those are our eyes and our feelers,
but
our
those
guides.
Those are majority. Those are majority of our answers. Those prophets in the Bible were telling the people, listen, if you do not stop, back when in the Old Testament, the facts were, if you didn't do, man and woman were getting stoned and killed. If you didn't do this right here, you were getting killed. Women, men, and children.
Yeah,
the Hebrew Israelites.
That's part of the control and the way that
I'm trying to explain myself. You can. I'm teaching something that everybody knows. Not and if you tell a white person that they can't. It doesn't speak to them. That Bible is not for them. It speaks to us and what we're going through right now. What me and you going through. What every black person is going through. How so culturally we see that. And we still talking about some getting theories from and theories are just theories. Your own ideas are called a theory and a thought. There is no proof.
It's not
in
a theory. I do have proof. Okay, I did my research, and these things are here. That's what I'm saying, right? Not everybody has the same measure of light. We don't understand the same things. There's things that you're good at that I'm not, and there's things that I'm good at that you're not. Likewise, somebody else knows information and how to decode things and how to give us something that we need.
So why are kids getting shut down? Well, I'm saying, Regina,
I shouldn't have to yell to be. I don't want to yell to be able to.
The tape is right here.
Let me lower my voice. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to have to talk over top you like that.
What I'm saying to you
wait, let me finish my statement. There is a coding, an encoding in the Bible. There's a higher plane to thought. There's a symbolism.
I'm asking you what?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
If you can't get this level and it gets sparked off like this, you don't go to the next level. I can't even begin to tell you, but there's symbolism. I do break it down and I give lessons and stuff. That's what I be doing. They're on the YouTube. But in a conversation like this, you just can't do it. You have to research things and you have to know them so that the fear goes away, because we've been taught to get upset and to get scary and to protect our spirituality with the lies that they told us, that certain things are bad and not to look at certain things in a certain way. So it's like code red as soon as somebody starts talking about science or something that we don't know about, that we can't clearly see on one dimension when we're looking at things biblically. We throw up red flags and say, oh, that's evil. But that's a trick of the enemy, because our Creator gave us a multifaceted way of looking at things. If we're Hebrew, and the Hebrew language is alchemical, which means it's alive, it's a living language. Even the symbology, it does many things, even a letter, a word. Then that means that its people work likewise.
What I'm saying to you is, there's a people.
And so we're
no,
great.
I heard you, baby. I heard just my turn.
Wait, just one.
Okay.
I'm finished.
You're being very disrespectful, though.
No, I'm not.
Of time.
Let me just finish this, because you can't end something like that. And so we're great when we pay attention to our assets.
Are all people great? Black,
no,
white?
What I'm saying is that these people, the Hebrew Israelite people, we're talking about us,
You're
right?
talking about, toward the 12
we
tribes.
are great.
The 12 tribes.
Right, and we were talking about 18 earlier, but I said
there's 6 other nations. There's 6 other nations that rule are the ruling class of people.
18 nations.
I said 18 nations. All 18 nations
tribes
together, and there's 12 tribes. 6 and 2 makes 12.
So we're great, as opposed to paying attention to the fear where we're inferior.
No, that's not what
yes. Inferior. Okay, let's take a closer look and pan in on it. Okay, Jesus. Okay, that instead of paying attention to the fear that they're feeding us, that we're more dynamic. And when we look at the Moorish civilization and our ancestry,
And you are saying something. Those who are feeding us. That's why the internet come out, so they can feed you to cloud to mind to take off the basic thing.
That's
Once
called
again, I'm gonna
illusion.
continue to say your sexual behavior. I'm gonna put that out there. Get the fuck off YouTube if you're looking at somebody trying to get some pussy or trying to get some dick or showing your ass and doing this right here and having no respect and then talking about some spiritual creator. You should shut your mouth. You should be ashamed of yourself. And I never hear nothing about kids and babies and why you having kids, why you doing this, talking about feed this and telling lies. Let's get honest with some stuff. Even Hebrew Israelite, even myself. Get your ass off. If you ain't doing the right thing, go fly a kite. So you'll be ashamed of yourself. You understand what I'm saying? This is what's going on. And we talk about community. We go, this. What we know about this or that. And when you speak of certain things, might not understand. Keep it simple. That's what we keep. Don't try because the white. That's what other people do. They use these big elaborate words. Now we come over here. We got other people from other countries over here now. Our doctrine. Where are us? How am I not going to see me to tell me about me? Where's my sister? Where? I got young girls, 28, 25, 30. Look at you. You don't say, they don't say nothing to you. Look at you like you some kind of nothing. But see the white man, or whatever, and just jumping up and down. And they have that right. And now you got the brothers sitting back on the camera and going to die poor and die poor health. The same ones that talk about the health, it's the same ones that go see the doctor. You're going to go to that doctor. You're going to have to. You have to go for a certain center. Get cut. Go to your jungle where somebody told them, let them put acid and bandage you up and see how that's going to work out. Yes, we do need the herbs. We need to watch out what's our diet. The Bible has a dietary law, a moral law, a civil law, a ceremony law. You understand what I'm saying? And the last one, we don't practice none of that. We be all over the place with these holidays and feeling bad when we don't do these particular holidays, and then when our children get about 17, 18, they're on their own to fend for themselves. The women are men and the boys are fucking women in their thinking. Not necessarily the physical part. You say something when she talking about she gonna fuck you, the man talking about it's changed. It's very sad what's going on. And we got enough nerve to go hard on another nation that enslaved us and still and look at us, spend money in their store and not say nothing, go to jobs and get fired continuously, and then shoot our children down and beat our women up and old people, and we don't say nothing. We laughing like, yeah, well, I got that from them. I don't get nothing. I get what I need from them and leave it up. Do I adhere to them or do I obey them? I do. But in knowing, I understand more, especially now my kids are getting ready to get going and keep it moving.
Yeah. In conclusion, I'm going to say, to answer your question, where are we? When you ask where are we as black people, in the community coming up with stuff, I'm just going to say that when it comes up when it comes to new thought and different ideas, that we should stop shooting each other down, because that's the way that we grow and we become a new people. It's not by staying within the realms of one-dimensional thinking, but even as a people, to allow other melanated people to be different and abstract and come up with different ideas, and allow our sciences and our spirituality to congeal, you know what I'm saying? And to allow ourselves spiritually, individually, to allow other things in, to consider other aspects of who we might have been and who we are, who we can be, that if we can't be it ourselves, to put sugar on it and allow someone else to shine. You know what I'm saying? To get rid of the bitterness and stuff and realize that these things are, not be afraid to look at them as demonic presences that are within ourselves that we're carrying around. You know what I'm saying? Redistributing to one another, because hurt people. The alchemy to that is that we're carrying around spiritual demons. That's what I'm just answering that. Yeah,
you are right.
That's where we are.
And in closing, in that we be ourselves. When we say something about us, we be like, yeah, but we never pin the other nations. And reason why, and I don't blame other people or the white. I'm just going by what I see when I go to work, when I go here, when I go there. What isn't before me? I deal with what's before me. I deal with my people before me, and I deal with those. How dare I disrespect myself for me? I don't care about anybody else. That I'm going to go and get so much information. I'm talking about information where I'm going to deliver to someone. I'm not going to do that as a 56-year-old man. I'm not going to do that. And it's seen, and especially, and then when I'm going to my work environment, see how the people just bow down to a situation to turn against their own brother, just like on the slave farm. What happened in physical slavery is now happening. We're in mental slavery now, and this is the last age of our mental slavery. And those who don't want to get on the bandwagon, we'll see you on the other side. Peace.
Peace. Okay. Before we end, some additional information that I learned from the etymology and ciphering of the word Jesus and the Christ. Heru, Horus, from the Hebrew, Nubaru, Anaki, Uru, Nubaru, okay, or Nebaru, Nibiru. Okay, Draco, Draconian. Now, from Jesus, Harris, Horus, Ibis, Iblis, the dark side of Pan, okay, which is Aziel, the jinn, okay, which breaks down, tracking it to synonymous with the snakes, the caduceus, Isis, God's female high priest, the attribute of feminism, magnetism, wisdom. In this case, we're talking the shadow side, the fear side. This is the parts that people don't want to know. That's synonymous with Christ, Jesus, Horus. The female side, or the side that's synonymous with duality, male and female, as mi amore, the hidden side, the dark side. Literally, like I said, Hebrew, we are also embedded and encoded. Mi amore, to die for. Divine wisdom, female aspect, Sophia, the love of learning. Isis. Okay? So it's synonymous with wisdom. Synonymous with the shadow, El Shaddai, and darkness with the Anunnaki. And we also have synonymous with dimmer, dime, gim, dinga, Ishtar, and Re, okay, R-E, Ra, R-A, okay. There's two aspects to this deity. Always was, always will be. You could get with this or you could get with that. And on the dark side, when we're talking about the hidden things, the attributes that we don't know, not only Yahweh Vahe, but also Azabra, that's Azbogah, when we're looking at angels, and this energy also connects with the Tsar in the Geometrica. The Merkaba. There's more than one aspect. You could get with this or you could get with that. But these are energies synonymous with that's why it's synonymous with the cosmic egg, the egg of chaos, the dark side, dark matter, the primordial energy, cosmic energy, sexual symbolism. And so when we're talking about fear, and we're talking about how you see all this fear-based stuff right now on the internet, that's called luge or louche, right? It's sadness or fear. And these entities, these archons, these light frequency being, these spiritual energies, these deities, right? These demonic presences feed off of this negative energy, off the sadness and fear and the tears, okay? With the luge or louche. Now, on the dark side of things, when it comes to the ancient spirits, we're looking at something called, Pan had this, they said that he was part of the terra, part of the terrain, right? That's when you can even say pianin on the world. He had, he was a melanated being, But they say that the gods, the heroes, giants, and demons had this stuff called melam. Not melanin, but melam. Okay? And it would put people in a state of terror. And remember when they, if you looked at some of the Greek stories or occult symbolism, the stories about Pan, he was synonymous with terror, with the earth, and they had the goat legs, synonymous with the bull. And the bull and the matador with the curtain, is synonymous with this invisible egg. So that would be the egg of chaos, all the stuff that we're thinking and feeling that has not yet come into being. So we need to watch our fear, because that's the stuff that will come into being. But because of our ignorance, which is also a form, the ignorance is the stuff that we don't know, because we're in the dark. So this is all just like the Hebrew language. We in our lives as melanated people also have embedding and encoding. And what they do is they keep feeding us all these negative posts and stuff. And this stuff produces something called adrenochrome, a fear. What they do with sacrifices, this is sacrifice season. These sickos that eat flesh and like melanin and stuff, they like to eat melanin. They do spirit cooking and all kinds of crazy stuff. And they drink blood. They take little children and people that they kidnap, and they bring them to the height of their fear. So when they're most terrified, they harvest the blood. And so then, like a crystal within inside the blood, like a computer that you gave a symbol, like you can program water, okay, with a frequency. Okay, just like we respond to sounds and frequencies and vibrations, that blood will have the fear inside of it. And like vampires, that stuff is supposed to be high on the black market as one of the drugs that they like the most, because they said it gets you really, really high. Ingesting someone else's fear. That's some crazy mess. And so on top of the luge and the adrenochrome, we have to remember that these are the sign of times, and that we're fighting against principalities and things in high places. This melum would cause fear in people, and it was said that kings, heroes, giants, and demons used to wear it. It was part of the astro. They said it would come up from off the ground and would just be like a part of their glow, a part of who they were, part of the terrain. And so when I think about Pan being synonymous, the symbology of Pan being Jesus, and being synonymous with shadow and light, that's the closing of the different worlds, the different dimensions. He's a child of Mary and Joseph, synonymous with dark energy and light, magnetism, and dialectic energy. Okay? So these are the shadowy spaces in the darkness, the fear. We're afraid to be able to look at these different aspects of this cosmic egg, these spaces where we do not know, which keeps us ignorant and allows people to take advantage of things like even the dark matter energy is synonymous with sexual symbolism, our sexual energy, our primordial energy. And when you work with chi energy, you see how this is synonymous with earth energy, the zodiac, and how we interact with each other as people. But because these are sciences that have been marketed and we have been indoctrinated with the fear to stay away from something, allowing other cultures to dominate us with it. So they're literally governing our sexual energy and our other energies by way of this fear and this anger. Okay, because as Hebrew Israelites and as a people, we're synonymous with all of this, even in our